Hi, my name is Megan and I'm with Starbuck Photography, and I wanted to give you 3 simple things that you can do to make your photo session even better. So the first one that I get asked so much is, what do we wear? And Pinterest is amazing for this. You can just Google some like photo session outfit ideas. But some of the guidelines that I like to use are to wear, choose a kind of color scheme. And so you can probably use the outfits that you already have. You could choose like browns and cream colors and then add a pop of turquoise. And maybe you have a daughter, you can add a turquoise hair bow, and then someone can have plaid on that has some turquoise in it or something like that. But I do like to stay away from everyone wearing plaid or some type of pattern. But I do like different textures, so sweaters can be really nice to add that in. Let's see, so you could do some other color things. You could do black, white, and gray, and then add a pop of red. You could do some blues and add a pop of yellow. It'd be really cute, but I do like to avoid everyone just wearing jeans. Moms could wear skirts or a dress, and those look really nice. So another thing I like to pay attention to is jewelry. I really like to avoid it unless it's a feature of the photo. So yes, an engagement ring is really nice. If you're wanting to feature a piece of jewelry, I would like to do it where we have it for some of the photos, especially like a necklace, where it could be turned and the clasp is showing, or if you're moving, it could kind of swing and be like at a weird angle or motion for the photo. But if we're just putting it on for certain pictures, then we know, like, okay, let's pay attention, make sure that's good, and then we don't have to worry about it in the other photos. So just keeping things like that in mind. Bright colored watches or something can kind of clash with the color scheme, so try to avoid those. I think that's pretty much it. The other thing, I guess, would be consider the weather. And what I mean is, a lot of times for winter, for your Christmas photos, you may want people in long sleeves. But at least here in the South, I had one mom who was like, yeah, my family's refusing, because it was still so hot at that time of year. And so they made the right choice of not wearing these big old sweaters and stuff. But if you really do want that, we could do some pictures without it and then some with. And I've done that even with when the temperature was super cold and they're like, we want to take our jackets off for the pictures. So just keep that in mind and have the jackets with you or whatever. Another thing that is really important, the second thing, is to come and just have fun at the session. So yes, it can be crazy. You've had to figure out outfits. Some people don't want to be there. They may be grumpy. They may be making you late. But once you get there, just have fun. Enjoy the surroundings. I've done cotton field sessions, and you don't want everybody so spread out that it's making the session take longer. But I enjoy taking photos that are, not posed, although I do pose as well. But I can follow a child around and take their picture while they're running or walking or pointing at the cotton. And those can end up being some of the best pictures, but they also make the group pictures even better because they're not crying because you're telling them to sit down and smile, and they're like, just give me something to smile about. So that's one thing to consider. And actually, I didn't recommend this to the families, but they did it, and I was like, oh, that's actually really working well. So some families will offer, like, oh, after our session, we're going to go get a treat. Or, have some type of reward. And then when you remind them of that and you're like, okay, do you want this? Then smile. A lot of times that can go a long way. We can also work around naps a little bit for some of the sessions, depending on the length. But, if someone is asleep and they can't wake up, it can be kind of grumpy. So maybe slowly waking them up, hug them to your shoulder, that kind of thing. And we can get some pictures like that, or we can start the session with other people and maybe some individuals or some groupings. I like to do some of, just the parents, some of just maybe individuals of the children. And actually, my third suggestion is to let the photographer know what you want. Some people feel like they're so rude asking, but it's actually really helpful for me as a photographer to know what you're expecting from the photos and not just what I'm like, oh, I want to focus on this because I love it. I want you to like your photos too. And so I had one mom who has a website, and so she was like, hey, would you mind taking some pictures of just me? And I'm like, oh, perfect, I'd love to. The same with another lady. She was like, we want to give a surprise gift to the dad. They just completed an adoption, and so it was super sweet, and I love those moments, and I was so glad that they reached out. And so if you have something like that that you want to commemorate or celebrate, I would love to capture that for you. So let your photographer know about those types of things so we can get you the best pictures that you're wanting. And even during the session, if I'm posing you certain ways and you have an idea and you're like, oh, could we do this? Or, oh, could you stand further back and get more of the background? Or could you come up closer? Any of those types of things, or like one with me, with my daughter, and doing this, because you know more of how you interact. So yes, I can prompt you and ask you to do certain things that I think look good, but if you know something of how you interact and play at home, then we can capture those and they'll seem more natural, and it can be a lot of fun. So those turn out really well, and when everybody's just enjoying it and having fun, it makes the pictures show that love and joy that's there. And so that's what we want to capture, that natural love and bond that your family already has. So I hope that those 3 things really help you with your next photo session.